Hi, David, F&B Railroad here, giving you another update on my layout. This time this update is going to talk about ballasting the track, and then we're going to do some scenery after that. I know ballasting the track isn't anything that's really exciting, but it does add to the look of the model. You got to have your track ballasted, otherwise it just doesn't look realistic. And then after that, I'll go into some scenery work that I do. So let's get into it. Okay, I'm working here on my hardboard bridge, and this connects my two tables. So I took some full strength white glue and put it on each side of the hardboard bridge that I have the track glued to, and spread that around. And then I took a spoon and I started putting on my ballast. I did this to both sides. And then I went back and I cleaned it up with a brush and my X-Acto knife to get what I had to off. So here I'm working on ballasting the center of the track. So you saw I put in the ballast with a spoon. I'll take a brush, I'll clean it up, and then I'll do both sides. When I get done with that and I'm happy with it, I then hit it with some 70% alcohol with a pipette, and then I put on my 75-25 glue, 75 water, 25 glue onto the ballast to hold everybody in place. So here I am, I'm using glue I had pre-mixed, but this was a 50-50 mix, so I felt it was a little too thick, so I mixed it with some more water and used a pipette to spread it on. And then after I had the glue all put on, I go through the pipette and suck out the glue in the center of the tracks, and I also used a paper towel to clean it up because I felt that 50-50 was just going to sit there. So here we are at the layout. The bridge is inside the cellophane there, and I'm starting to ballast my track. I start with the center first, because normally when you're putting in the ballast and spreading it around, it tends to flow to the outside. So then once I have the inside done, I do the outside. And the other thing I went and did is I spread it along the bridge. That's why I have it wrapped in cellophane, to try and blend it into the scenery, but later I had to take that out. It just didn't work. I ended up ripping it out, and you'll see what I had to do later. So after putting the isopropyl alcohol down, I come in with the pipette and the glue mixture, and I put it on. But you got to be careful, because if you don't put it on in the right spots and put it on too fast, it will push your ballast away. As you can see here, I'm having to fix the ballast up to get it back into shape and not have corks showing. Normally the best way to do the glue and isopropyl alcohol is to go on top of the edge of the rail and let it wick down that way, or go in between the rails and let it wick that way. So this is where I tried to blend the bridge into the scenery. I put the glue down for the ballast and spread the ballast across it, but it just wasn't working for me. I didn't like it once it dried and whatnot, so I ended up ripping it out, and you'll see what I had to do later. So this is where I went back to doing my track and finishing it up to the road, doing the ballast and whatnot. And as you've seen, I just put it in the center, then I do my sides, then I do the isopropyl alcohol, and then I glue it down. Okay, I was talking about my bridge earlier, and this is what I ended up doing. I ended up taking some styrene and gluing it to the bottom of the bridge to extend the width of the ballast out further. This way I could ballast all the way to the edge, and then I could have this scenery come up, and I wouldn't have a nasty looking line between the ballast and the ballast on the bridge. So I felt this was a better solution, and this is what I ended up doing to fix my problem. Okay, this now starts the scenery part of this video, and you can see I put on some full strength white glue, spread it around with a brush, then I come in and I used some of the old green grass, it was like green sawdust, to blend the two tracks together, because that's what I used on the first one. Then I came in with blended turf, and then I'll come in with burnt grass and yellow grass and earth to put some earth colors in there, and then I might even throw in some weed and whatnot. And then when I'm all done spreading everything around and whatnot, I go back through with some 70% isopropyl alcohol and some glue that I mix 75-25, 75% water, 25% glue, and just put it over it to hold it all in place. Now that that was all down, I went through and put in some coarse turf and some underbrush to give it a little bit more realism and whatnot, try and blend in the bridge a little bit so it didn't show so much. And then when I got that all in place, I hit it with 70% alcohol and then some more glue. So from there I jumped to the other side of the tracks and started the whole process all over again to do my scenery. Now here I'm putting down some talus and some bigger rocks at the end of that rock outcropping for some of the scenery to be done around, and then I'll go to the grasses and whatnot. So here I decided that I wanted some bushes, so I took some clump foliage and some Eileen's tacky glue and put the glue on the foliage and put it in place where I wanted it to be. Afterwards, I'll hit it with isopropyl alcohol and some glue to ensure it stays in place. And here's an overall view of what it looks like. I added some rocks here and there. I put in a tree, and I think the whole thing came out looking pretty good. Okay, that's the end of the episode, and I do believe that this is coming out very nicely. The scenery is coming out well. The ballasting of the track looks good. And I thank you all for watching. I do appreciate everybody who does watch and leave a comment, whether it's good or bad. It gives me ideas of what I'm doing right or what I'm doing wrong. And hopefully this gives you people a chance to see what I'm doing and get ideas from me maybe. So keep on modeling.